Edward Cahill, found on sister's doorstep. Mary Hughes, placed by mother. Joseph McDonald, born in institution. Small pieces of untold stories of the thousands of children who have come to St. Anne's over the last 150 years. It was the summer of 1860 when 3 Daughters of Charity came to the nation's capital to open the doors to Washington's first foundling home. The sisters came in response to the growing number of babies that were being abandoned. 3 years later, President Abraham Lincoln acknowledged that need by signing an act of Congress officially incorporating the institution in the District of Columbia. St. Anne's became one of the first authorized adoption agencies in the Washington area.
When St. Anne's was founded, it was an orphanage in the traditional sense of the word. Children, primarily infants, were being placed in the care of the 3 Daughters of Charity who founded St. Anne's.
As the demand for the sisters' services rapidly increased, it became necessary for them to find a larger home. In 1863, they moved to 2300 K Street, a place they would stay for 83 years. From the very beginning, St. Anne's also provided shelter to young mothers.
It was a program that served mothers-to-be who were not married or whose husbands or the father of their children might be serving in the Civil War. These women in the 1860s really had nowhere to go, and they came to St. Anne's, which was located down near the White House, and were cared for there.
In 1897, a country estate located in Berwyn, Maryland, that was donated to St. Anne's became the summer residence for the toddlers and children. The urgent need for charity in caring for abandoned children continued into the 1900s. In 1920, there were 130 children living at the orphanage.
I started working in the late 40s. In those days, we raised the kids. They stayed in some of the homes until they graduated from high school. We sent them to college.
72 years ago, my mother had me out of wedlock, and I was immediately taken to St. Anne's Infant Home, which used to be on California Street. And I was a child of St. Anne's for 5 years. I know I was always a happy child. And if I was a happy child from childhood, I would have had to have something nurturing and loving and caring from the beginning. And I am positive, I mean, my heart tells me it was here.
In 1958, Archbishop O'Boyle called upon Washington area Catholics to support the construction of a new building. Located on a large piece of property in Hyattsville, Maryland, the new made-to-order home for St. Anne's was dedicated in May 1962. As the years have passed, the role and mission of St. Anne's has changed.
The field has changed. My philosophy is that many years ago, children were orphans of the dead, but now our children are orphans of the living. And the children did not come in those days in the state they come in today.
Today, children come to St. Anne's from a crisis situation. They've been removed from their homes because of abuse, neglect, or abandonment. Often they arrive late at night, accompanied by a social worker.
The amount of abuse and the horrible abuse. Like at one time in St. Anne's, I had so many burned babies, young children, badly burned, that my staff were really, I call, traumatized. and found it difficult to take care of them. I'll never say you get used to it. I shed more tears at St. Anne's than any place I ever lived with children, I'll tell you that.
St. Anne's Teen Mother Baby Program has evolved from 1860. Teens who are pregnant or have a young child come to St. Anne's at a very vulnerable time in their lives.
I was about 15 or 16 when we discovered I was pregnant. And within a month or so, I was here. I was a student at St. Anne's High School. I really feel like St. Anne's was pivotal to my success and to my development as a young mother. You know, just going into life, it changed everything for me.
An on-site accredited high school allows the young women to complete their education while staying close to their babies.
I love those teen moms and their babies. And those girls really work at trying to be good mothers. But they're young, and it's hard to do. And I guess what really upset me was a lot of those kids, when they'd be getting ready to leave after they graduated from high school, and I'd say, well, you know, where are you going? Well, I have no place to go.
Sister Josephine worked very, very hard with other outside agencies to create a residential program that would provide housing and daycare for young mothers who needed housing, affordable housing. And with that, Faith House was created.
Faith House provides 8 single mothers and their children with an apartment of their own, as well as daycare. St. Anne's Community Child Care Center provides daycare not only for the residents of St. Anne's, but for families in the surrounding community.
When you walk through the doors, the people are full of joy, and they're happy, and it feeds often to the children.
I was adopted from St. Anne's when I was 15 days old.
Oh, that was the most happiest day of our life. The 3 little boys got all dressed up in suits coming to get their new sister.
Yeah. I would love to tell my birth mother that she made the right choice, that I had the best childhood imaginable. My family loved me, and I've been successful, and I have a wonderful family now, and I have a daughter who's adopted, and that I wouldn't ever change anything, and I appreciate what she did.
I came to know St. Anne's because my son was taken out of custody of his mother and placed over here. I guess the most exciting thing was when I got to bring him home for the first weekend. I come back every couple of months to let them see how he's doing. I've always felt like if I ever need anything, I could come back here for anything, even if it's just somebody to talk to.
As St. Anne's celebrates their 150th anniversary, they pause to reflect on the courage of the 3 Daughters of Charity back in 1860, and how their compassion and commitment has been mirrored in the thousands of sisters, staff, volunteers, and friends who have followed in their footsteps.